asking. Thanks. Yeah, so somebody's trying to feed me. I think maybe he thought I was homeless because I'm sitting here with my little backpack. Anyway, so I don't look it though. I've got my cool yellow shoes on, etc. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so here I am. Here's what happened. I thought I was supposed to be at the airport at 2:30 today. And so I had a lot of things to do. I had a little expo I was going to. I'm trying to finish our book. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. And so I could bring a few copies with me. I had yesterday, just as I'm getting ready to go and pack up, I had got served via email through federal court a couple Rule 12 motions on 2 different cases, which always like piques my anxiety through the roof, because that's about another 30 hours of work. It's due in 2 weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to get a little extension on that. But that piqued my anxiety, so I am trying to get these books done. I go over to Home Depot, or Office Depot, and the guy keeps running it single-sided. It's 311 pages. I couldn't get it bound. I did find a really good deal on these little white notebooks, and I wanted to have at least 5 or 7 books to bring with me in DC. That was the whole point of putting them together. So I did get these little notebooks, and I put together kind of a front page. I'm going to show you here. Oh, I'm just going to turn the camera around. Just hang on a second. This is a lot of traffic here. Okay, so I put together this little front page. I just did it in black and white because I just didn't have time to do it. Stop Separating American Families, 2019, Our Stories, study on outcomes in the news, class action lawsuits, jury awards, op-eds and editorials, and then just a little summary here at the bottom. And then as you can see, I did it two-sided pages. No, I don't. Sorry, sir. This is not a good place to sit. If they're not trying to pawn sandwiches off on me, they're trying to beg money. And of course, we have the cover. I wasn't able to even get the cover on all of them. Hang on here. So we kept messing around at Office Depot. He couldn't get them to print properly. I waited and waited and waited. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the airport. I gotta go to the airport. I finally got out of Office Depot. I looked at my ticket again. Boarding was supposed to be at 2:40 p.m. I left my house in Brentwood, Tennessee at 2:23 p.m. and got on the airplane at 2:54. They were ready to shut the gate. I made it clear across town, through security, got my bag checked and on the plane, and got, and they were like seeing, and I was, if you've ever been to Nashville Airport, I was C-18, which is down at the very end of the airport, and oh my gosh, I thought I wasn't going to make it. And I just walked in the door. Fortunately, it was not a very busy plane. So I'm here. This reminds me, so back in my first trip up here was, I think it was 2015 or 16. I can't even remember. I'd have to go back and look at our videos. But this is the very first place I met up with Kathleen Arthur, Maureen Davis, Lisa Vincent here in Union Station. And we have a picture way back in our archives from when we met. So we have a DC envoy. Kathleen has worked so hard to set up meetings to talk about looking at what the Family First Act is doing, whether or not the states are implementing it. And of course, they are not. They are not. They are not. They were supposed to, it passed in February 2018. They were supposed to implement it in October 2018, and they did not. Everybody kept pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. So they pushed it back to 2020 or 2022. And we know why. We know because they do not want to change how they are spending our money. This is our money, folks. This is our tax dollars. Don't ever forget it. All these people who are doing all this are working off of our dime, our hard-earned money. When we go out and work our jobs, we pay our taxes, we're paying all these people, okay? So they need to be working for us and doing what's best for the people, not what's best for their job security, and that's basically what happens. So we had an envoy come up July the 30th. I was unable to go. because, you know, my schedule's so crazy. And so we set up this one for September, and I just got it on my calendar, shoved some things around. Thought I was going to have a trial the day I got back on the 12th, but that got, at the last minute, got moved. So things just kind of worked out, but so here I am. So I don't know who else is here. I know there's some things going on tomorrow. I think on the down, it should be in the event posting. If not, I'll try to get it posted up there. We've had tons of new people join, tons of new people. And I want to say to the new people, number one, we are a public group. Number two, our objective is to reform child welfare. That's it. That's our main objective. Now, we agree there's a lot of other problems that have to do with the family court system generally, that have to do with child support, that have to do with these crazy psychologists that they drag into the courtroom. We know there's a lot of problems generally, but our main focus is child welfare reform, because we know the funding, the Title IV funding, the privatization, the ASFA bonuses, the adoption bonus money are driving our kids into foster care. Today, we posted as the International Protest Day because in Norway, and we posted it and shared it several times in Family Forward Project today. They did a protest in Norway. Norway is horrible for taking children and adopting them out. I want you to know a lot of our children in the United States that are being taken by Child Protective Services are being sent overseas. Now, I know the Tennessee stats show that 135 children from Tennessee alone in 1 year were shipped overseas to be adopted overseas. Okay? That is crazy to me. So, I was also reading some stats today. I was reading a report that was done out of Georgia regarding child representation. They were talking about how every year 300,000 children go into foster care, that they maintain about 500,000 children in foster care, and then it says about 270,000 exit foster care, but of the 300,000 that go into foster care every year, half of them never go home. Half of them never go home. So that's 150,000 children that are going into group homes, that are being adopted, that basically they are cut off from their family forever. They are social engineered by our government right away from their family. What is happening is a tragedy. Family separation, so much is going on. And I want to say that, there was this big deal about immigration separating families at the border, right? And it was like all this big, huge splash about 6 months ago. And then as soon as psychologists started coming on and talking about the psychological detriment of children separated from their parents, even for a day or two, all of that stuff just disappeared because they know that when you look at our families, our American families, that damage is going on every day. So, anyway, we have a lot of work to do. Oh, I was sorry. I was talking about new members. Oh, I got so distracted. It's been a long day. Okay, so for new members, we are a public group. Our focus is child welfare reform. We have people in probably 30 states. I think you can look at our member stats and see where everybody is. We've had rallies and events in about 12 different states. We've had Michigan, we've had Montana, Washington State, Florida, North Carolina. There have been several. So just get involved with people with your state and get something statewide going. I set up Family Forward Project groups for about 10 different states. I haven't set up the rest of them. I just really haven't had time to do that. But we need to get you per state. I am taking our live videos, I'm downloading into my phone, I'm uploading them to YouTube, I'm putting tag words in there for child welfare reform, for child protective services, for They Stole My Kids, for ban ASFA, and we're getting a lot of people who are finding us through the YouTube videos. So I see a lot of people coming on, and I'm telling you, you know, I have been doing this a long time. I am a lawyer. I started this because as a lawyer, I started seeing horrific things going on in the courtroom. Horrific. Secret courts, lies, secret reports, just horrible. Standard of proof not being appropriate. So I wanted, you know, and I tried to talk about it to legislators and to other people who had decision-making power, and everybody just looked at me like I was trying to defend somebody. As a matter of fact, I went in and talked to Congressman Bob Cooper's office, and he was there, and he just looked at me like I was trying to just defend some child abuser. And he's on the committee for Health and Human Services in DC, and he's been a congressman for a really long time, and I'm sure he was part of the ASFA, passing the ASFA Act. So I knew that there had to be hundreds and thousands of stories out there, and sure enough there are. And it's the same pattern of things that they're doing all over. And finally, it's starting to be exposed. My book, my little book, it has, I mean, you all did a great job. I'm going to turn this around so I can show it to you again a little bit. All right, here's like some people did handwritten stories. Some people typed their stories. See this? The stories typed, handwritten. Some people, there's Tracy's story. I asked for 1 page. Some people went over. If it was within 2 pages, I still used it. Lots of stories from Iowa. Thank you, Iowa, for working so hard. Louisiana, Michigan, North Carolina, New York. And then what I did is on any page where it didn't fill up the whole page, I stuck something in there. And so this is so funny. I found this post from Facebook. This is way back in 2014. And we screenshot it, and it says, I went from that to Department of Children's Services. I could remove children essentially calling you pond scum and have a June Cleaver smile on my face. I scared myself sometimes. That is Amy Carroll, a Tennessee DCS worker. And then I would type in, stop separating American families. And so I page numbered them. I've got all the page numbers at the top. I put Family Forward on the bottom of it, Utah, West Virginia, and then in the back here are some stories that I pulled out. And again, oops, hang on here, sorry. And where, again, I added things at the bottom. I added things at the bottom where I had space left. Stop separating American families. So it really just brings this whole story into focus. And we're going to put this in the hand of people. And I told you when I said this in July that the reason I did this book is because I wanted to tell your story and carry your story with me. The first time we came up here in 2016, there were several people that came up. Freddie and Tracy came up from Florida. There were a few other families. We were able to get them in to just get 2 or 3 minutes to talk to legislative assistants. And that was the year the Family Forward Prevention and Service Act passed. So anyway, it's going to get dark here. I know I turned the light on so you can't tell. It's getting dark around me. But my place I'm staying is a bit of a walk from here. Oh, I'm going to show you this great picture right here. Look at that. Do you see that down there? Oops, I can take people in the picture. You wait till these people pass. You will see in the background the Capitol. You see that? Right there is the Capitol. Okay, so you all should look at how you can get to do a program. Oh, Alabama's coming up October 5th, California October 4th. You all can do something. You can do something. This is National Protest Day. So I've got my banners. I brought my banners along. I did also have, did I bring them with me? Nope, I didn't bring them with me. I got the post-it notes that I was telling you about that I put together before. So we're going to spend some time talking to people about how to use the poster notes as well. So Pixie, Tennessee, we have a lot of people in Tennessee, Pixie, because I'm from Tennessee. So that's probably my biggest group of people is Tennessee. Yep, Edna, Tennessee. Okay, so y'all Tennessee people, we need to get a Tennessee event put together. We had one a couple years ago, and we need to do it again and educate about advocating for parents, what you do, how you help them get their cases. Yep, I know Susie is too. I have talked to Susie as well. All right, I don't like to make these videos too long, because if they're too long, if they're over 30 minutes, it makes it really hard to download it and upload it and get people on YouTube to even take a look at it. So I'm gonna say ta-ta. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll go and walk around and take a few pictures, post a few pictures. Kathleen is coming in late tonight. I'm sure I'll be back to Michigan as well, Tabitha. Texas, let's please do Texas. Ashton, there are Texas people, lots of Texas people. Iowa's a mess, but they've got a really good group out there. So Iowa is working really hard. So, but you've got to contact your state legislators. You've got to wear them out, okay? All right, so love you. We'll talk to you later. Have a good evening, and it's a beautiful evening here. I hope it is where you are as well, and good night.